Hello Seekers, and welcome to a Pick a Card with me, Kim. As you can see, we have this very specific checklist that the universe and or spirit has sent in for us to look into and address. So for this reading, we will be checking off what's on the list one by one as we look into the current energies in love, finances and career, and spiritual growth with the help of tarot and oracle cards and hand-drawn charms. Please know that this is a timeless reading, meaning that there is no specific date or timestamp to these messages. At whatever moment in time you decide to watch this video, the messages can apply to you. Okay, now let us take a moment to pause and meditate, for it is time to pick a group. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. Whatever checklist calls out to you, then that will be a group. Please know that the timestamp for each group is provided in the comments section down below. Okay, now that you've chosen your checklist, let's get into your reading. Hello Seekers! Okay, so for you guys, I heard the word return and I saw a vision of a person arriving. So this can be a person from your past that's making a U-turn back into your life, but we'll look at the cards to get more info on that because I am sensing new energy. So this could very well be a new person arriving into your life. Now, I feel that the majority of the people who chose this group might be currently single. And I say this because I am getting a very melancholic mood, reminiscing about old days or daydreaming about a future that is yet to be. And that just tells me that there's this feeling of not wanting to be in your current moment because you're really longing for a past or you're yearning for a future that is yet to exist. And I do feel like we're going to spend some time on the love portion of this reading, but let's get into the cards. So the first card is just to give us the general current energy. So we have Piet Mondrian, which is the name of an artist, and the message is, logic should come from the heart. True simplicity takes a lot of concentration. Find utopia in a straight line. And it's funny that we have straight line because I didn't mention a U-turn. Okay, so this just speaks to me about finding balance between the logic, the mind, and the heart. Sometimes we can get swept away by our emotions and we completely discard our logic. Now, remember, it is important to always listen to your heart, but it's also important to use our logic because we live in a very physical 3D reality, and the logic is crucial, beneficial, important, for it brings clarity to us and it helps us make wiser decisions. I say this because I'm being pulled to these man's glasses and they look a bit foggy. Even the light is illuminating that. So that for me speaks about clarity. Again, when we're swept away by our emotions, we can see the world through tinted lenses, right? Everything is rose-colored and pink. And what happens then is that we don't see the situation as it is. So we either create very high expectations or we create ideas of people or situations that have nothing to do with the reality of things. And that just leads us to disappointment, right? Because when our expectations are not met or a person doesn't turn out to be how we painted them to be, it can be very heartbreaking and disappointing, and Spirit just wants to keep you away from that because they don't want you to feel like you've been fooled in the long run. So keep your mind with you at all times. Listen to your heart, but create that balance. Also pay mind to that logical side of you. It's there for a reason. Now with Find Utopia in a straight line, I'm being pulled to the straight line. That for me just represents forward movement. So I heard this, I think it's from the same oracle deck. Try not to look back when you're moving forward because then you can trip and break your neck. That's a bit morbid, but the message there is if you're moving forward, then keep your eyes forward. Do not keep walking forward and keep looking back because that's very counterproductive. That's pretty much saying you haven't moved on from your past. And then how can you appreciate what's being laid in front of you if you're too busy looking at what's been laid behind you? Yeah, so keep moving forward Put your attention to what's in front of you instead of longing for something that already happened. So now let's look at the first part of our checklist, which is love. So the first card is to give us the general energy of the current situation in love. So we have Three of Vessels, joy. This is the Three of Cups in reverse. So again, I was feeling that the majority of you might be single at this moment. And this feels like a past energy. So it feels like a falling out of a relationship. It can be romantic, but it could also represent friendships, because I usually see this gathering as kindred spirits, like-minded people. I do get this feeling or yearning, longing to be in a relationship, maybe even longing from someone of your past. And it's like you're currently really caught up in old memories, thinking about this person from your past, this relationship, how happy you were, and you're longing for that emotion. Now, I do feel that someone, it can be an ex, it can be an old friendship, it's making a reappearance into your life. Now, sometimes people come back into our lives just to show us how much we've upgraded, how much we advanced. Meaning, if people from your past come back into your present moment and they're still holding the same ideals, the same beliefs, the same energy from like 3 years ago when you were with them, and you no longer resonate with that, that's saying something about you. That's saying that you've grown in some way, that you're ready for something new. And that allows you to choose whether you want to stick with this energy or move on to something different. Sometimes it's reverse. Sometimes people from our past come in and they are a completely different person. They're completely renewed. And their new perspective, their new ideas or beliefs, it might inspire something in us. We might learn something from it. And so these connections are just to show us, to reflect something about us. But I'm not sensing like this is to say you're going to reconnect for a long-term relationship. It feels more like a meeting. You are meant to meet this person, because I'm looking at these cups and the cups are offerings, and see how the cups are so different from each other. So it's saying that each person offers something to the table, something completely different, and you can all take something from it, right? And so I feel that this meeting will be for you to take something of it, a lesson learned about yourself, about your own growth and your own journey. But let's look at the clarifiers. So we have manifestation in reverse and we have home in reverse. Yes, with the manifestation in reverse, I feel there might be a bit of frustration, because either you might be trying to manifest new relationships into your life and people from your past keep coming back, right? Old relationships, old scenarios just keep coming back like an ever-going cycle. And you're like, why, God's sake, why, if I want something new, why is it not working for me? And it's because maybe you still need to release something from your past, or you need closure. It's because I was sensing this feeling of reminiscing, of melancholy. And melancholy is all about when we yearn about something that already happened. If you're still yearning for something of the past, that's really keeping you from moving into your future. So maybe this meeting these people are for you to gain some form of closure, to either be okay with what happened, to be okay with what you already experienced, be grateful for it, or forgive it, and then move on, release it and move on. Right? Again, if people come back, it doesn't mean that you have to attach to them. It doesn't mean that you have to form, again, a connection with them. It just means that you met for this moment and enjoy this moment, take what you need from it, and then you can move on from it. This can also represent that maybe you've been trying to manifest an ex or a person from your past and it hasn't been working out for you. I feel like this person will come in back into your life, but it's not going to be how you want it, because I think what you've been trying to manifest is a long-term stable commitment, and this person is not coming in to offer you that. I feel like the message is you're trying to look for your future in the past. What you're wanting does not exist where you're looking for it right now. It's not with this person. It's not with these people. It's not with this energy of the past. What you're looking for does exist, but it's it's either in your present or it's in your future. I'm saying this because we have the home in reverse. The home energy is about stability, family, it's about foundations and longevity, but we have the energy in reverse. So again, whoever is coming in, it's not someone that I feel is going to stay for the long run. But with the home in reverse, I feel like this is also representing you, right? And you're kind of closed off at this moment because it feels like you're very capricious or stubborn on wanting it to turn out a certain way. That's why I was feeling that kind of the high expectations or certain ideas and being swept away by your emotions. We all get in that mood, in that melancholic mood about reminiscing about old days, wishing that it was like it used to be, and we can get really attached with that feeling. But it's because it's like our soul or our heart is telling us we want happiness again, we want to feel joy again, but it's just the feeling of it. It's not exactly with the same people, it's not exactly in the same scenario, right? It's just the feeling that we want to experience again. So just ask or hold on to that feeling, but be open to how it comes. Be open to the newness of it. It could come with a new person. It could come with a new scenery. But you need to allow for that to happen, because I'm being pulled to these birds here, and we have birds here again represented here. So this could be new people that are really wanting to enter into your life, that are really wanting to connect with you, but because you're so closed off, you're so attached to being it a certain way, these people can't come in. So release the past, or even release the future, release those expectations, how you think this should play out, when it should play out, with who it should play out, and open yourself. And in doing that, the relationships that you've been craving, what you've been trying to manifest and love, will come through. It's waiting for you here. They're like flocking around your home. Yeah, but now let's pull out some charms. One flew out. I can't find it. Okay, so we have the mittens here, and we have the steering wheel. So the mittens, it reminds me about kindred spirits. It reminds me about soulmates. It's people who are connected by the red string of fate. Distance, time is never an obstacle to them, right? They will always find each other at the end. So I do sense people that are more connected with you at a soul deep level, that are trying to make their presence known to you. Right? With the wheel feels like new direction, allowing yourself to finally take hold of the wheel and steer it into a new direction. And this for me means like progress, movement forward. Again, what you've been trying to manifest is out there for you, but it does not exist where you're looking for it right now and with who you're looking for it with. It exists with something completely new. Okay, but now let's move into the finances and career. Okay, again, to get the general energy, we have Two of Vessels attraction. Okay, so the Two of Vessels attraction represents like a partnership, but this mostly just signifies gaining inspiration, being inspired by someone, creating alchemy, because I always see this as representing masculine energy and this feminine energy. Masculine energy is all about action, movement, putting things into fruition, and then the feminine energy is all about that creativity, bringing things to life, being receptive, being open, and these two energies come together to create something new. And I'm being pulled to this heart that's on fire, and it reminds me of like the sacred heart, but also about passion, inspiration, vitality. So in terms of finances and career, I feel a very specific someone. Again, I was sensing old energy, but also new energy. I feel like a very specific person is going to come into your life to ignite this fire, to ignite that passionate energy within you, to spark the flame of imagination. And either you will exchange ideas with each other, and it will allow for the creative juices to start flowing. And I think that maybe you will create a project together, or just maybe a blueprint of a project. And this feels like a beginning of sorts, but look at the clarifiers. This can also represent you finally creating alchemy with your own energies. Maybe you've had many creative ideas, but you hadn't had the motivation, the energy to bring this into fruition. And finally you're getting that motivation. Finally, you're being inspired to actually put a foot forward and start manifesting all of these ideas into this physical world. Again, but I do feel like it's someone that's going to come into your life to either inspire that. It's going to be you who's going to put in the work, but it's going to be someone who's going to, either you're going to share your ideas with them. Maybe you never shared these ideas with anybody and you share these ideas with this person, and this person just looks at you with bright eyes and says like, holy, that's brilliant. Why haven't you done it? You should do it. You should go ahead. Yes, I support you. I believe in this. And that really sparks your flame. That really gets you motivated to do this because now you have a supporter. But now let's look at the clarifiers. We have vulnerability and we have guarded. Oh my goodness. Okay, so vulnerability reminds me a lot about this feminine energy, and the guarded reminds me a lot about this masculine energy. And we have like the two hands here together. So this talks a lot about balance. Vulnerable, again, it's like the heart. We have the heart here. So I'm seeing the heart as creativity, as an idea, and you're offering to someone, right? And I know it's guided here, but I'm being pulled to this eye. So it's like you offer this idea to somebody, and somebody finally listens to you. Somebody finally pays attention, witnesses this. And that in itself, having someone to listen to you, having someone who's genuinely interested in this, allows your heart to be set aflame, right? And it's like, you know, when you have like an idea, but you haven't fully developed it, and you talk to it with somebody, and this person is genuinely interested, and then the conversation starts flowing, and then more ideas start coming up. And then all of a sudden, boom, you have a blueprint, right? Now you have like the first step to start making this thing happen. And that's what I'm seeing with here. It's being open. Now with the guarded card here, I'm not sensing it as blockages or putting up walls. It's more like using discernment, right? Again, it's reminding me of the message here, seeing things clearly. We have the heart here, and I'm seeing this as logic, right? Having a balance between your heart and your logic. You might get really excited with this. Really, really motivated. This person might be very over enthusiastic. They're like, yes, let's do it. Let's invest at this very moment. But hold things, put on your brakes. Remember, don't get swept away by the moment. Use your logic. This eye here is open for a reason. If you're going to sign a contract, if you're going to invest in something, look at the details, right? Because in the moment, again, we get carried away. We get really excited. We don't use our logic. We lose our logic. And then later on, we start seeing the situation, we start seeing the finer details, and we start realizing that, oops, maybe we ran a little too ahead of ourselves. Okay? So it's just like, take it a bit slow. Balance yourself. It's beautiful that you're excited. It's beautiful that you have the motivation. Use it. Use that. But don't let the heart, turn to ashes. But the last card is, I meet you. I meet you. I was lucky to meet you. Yeah, I feel this is a meeting with someone. It could just be a random person that you meet and you have a conversation with, and they really inspire something in you. They motivate you. I knew we were going to talk about love a lot. Now, this person, because these energies feel like they really mesh, right? It feels like like-minded people coming together. Because this person inspires such passion in you, you might get carried away and start visualizing or idealizing this person in a certain way. And I feel a spirit is asking you, take a step back with this. Let it unfold as it should be. Don't try to put a label to it. Don't try to make it into something that it isn't. Yes, you were meant to meet this person, and it was because it was meant to inspire something in you. So use that inspiration for something productive, because I feel this is meant to help you in your work and in your career. It's to help you, give you that little push to start something that maybe you've been procrastinating on or leaving on hold because of fear or insecurities. This is just like that little push from the universe. Okay, so keep your mind, your logic, and your heart in balance and in check. But now let's look at the charms. So just these two. So we have the airplane here. And we have the ant. Okay, so yeah, you might be actually working with this person, and I feel it's very much working on just on the blueprint of it. But this can very well represent a partnership, and I feel it will be very balanced in terms of work. Because I feel like you allow your creative juices to really flow. I feel there's this message of precaution, of a warning. You know how there's relationships that truly work in work situations, but when you try to take them into the romantic aspects of it, they kind of, yeah, they don't work that well. Yeah, there's that warning sign there. This really works in terms of business and partnership, because again, I feel like you're very like-minded and you inspire each other. But if you try to take things this a bit further into the romantic aspect of it, you see how the fire it's like burning. As quickly as it burns, it can quickly extinguish. Yeah, so be careful with that. This represents like people that you work with, a community, working together. And with the airplane here, yeah, like I said, might be a random person that you just might meet at a cafe or somewhere. And this might be a foreigner, a person that's traveling, that's maybe on vacations, feels like from a distance from you. Or this establishing like maybe a business connections or networking with like other countries. Yeah, but that's what I'm getting with finance as a career. Inspiration, motivation, creativity, possible partnerships, and even like maybe extending your business to foreigner countries. Yeah, but again, mind, logic, and heart needs to be placed in balance. Yes, see things with clear eyes. But the last one will be, so we have, let's check them, love, finance, and career, and the last one is spiritual growth. Okay, so we have the Queen of Arrows, the Swan. So the Queen of Arrows is the Queen of Swords. Now the Queen of Swords is a very blunt energy. When she decides she's done with something, she's done. She does not look back. Arrows is also all about the logic, and it's also about communication. But I always look at this Swan, and yes, she's moving on to newer, fresher waters, but she's looking back, right? It's the same message we were getting here with Find Utopia in a straight line. In terms of your spiritual growth, our spirit grows and progresses when we allow it to move forward. But again, if you've decided to move forward from a situation, if you decided to move forward from people, from your past, from routines, from whatever it may be, but you're still looking back, you're still tempted in some way, you're still bringing that energy to the new place that you want to swim into, right? And then it also keeps you from looking at what's being offered to you. It's like, it reminds me of that Four of Cups, like, he has 3 cups in front of him, and he's not pleased with those 3 cups, but he can't look away from the 3 cups. And there's that one cup that the universe is offering to him that is new, and he can't look at them because he's too busy still looking at the old cups that he's not happy with. And so I feel like it's time to fully cut away with the past. Again, if it's a person, sometimes we wonder, why am I still thinking about this person? Why am I still attached to this person if I know that it's not going to work out with them? If I know that I really don't want to get back with this person? And I realized that it's not really the person that we're attached to. It's because when we form connections with someone, we exchange energies, right? So we give some of our energy to that other person. So I feel that what we're truly longing for, it's that energy we gave. We want that part of ourselves back. We're missing ourselves. We're missing that part of us. And so what I would recommend is to sit down, ground yourself, and then just set the intention to call back your energy from this person, from old situations, memories, thoughts, and pull all your energy back to you. And then see how you feel. I've seen other people do this exercise, and when they try to visualize that person that they were really attached to, they can no longer visualize it once they call their energy back. Because again, I think it was the only reason why they were so connected to them is because there was still a part of their energy with that person. So reclaim your energy, and then you would slowly start moving forward. Because again, now I feel like this one is looking back because she knows there's something of her here in the past that she wants back. But let's look at the clarifiers. Yeah, we have the Queen of Swords again, the heart. So yeah, for me, this is representing a connection. Again, if it's a person from your past, I'm getting that message again. Don't allow yourself to get swept away by your emotions. The Cupid energy, yeah, it's all about love, but it's mostly about attraction. It's about things that burn really bright, and then the next thing they're cold, right? See it as sort of flings, or just that instant love that quickly kind of extinguishes. So yeah, be mindful, pay attention, and do not get tempted. I feel like you might get tempted in some way, and Spirit, they're not forcing you to do anything, but they're asking you to really consider, pay attention, and acknowledge whether if you really want to relive this situation, or you're really ready for something new. Yeah, because we have hope energy in reverse, and that for me is still clinging onto the past, hoping for something that you know is kind of futile, that will bring nothing beneficial to you. It feels like a false hope kind of thing. And do not do this to yourself. Do not do this to yourself, because it's not worth it. It's truly not worth it. And we know what you want for yourself, or you know what you want for yourself. You want something long-term. You want something stable. And it is out there, but it's here in the newer waters. So allow yourself to fully flow into that. And again, what you want it does not exist where you are seeking for it right now. It's not there. It's somewhere else. Okay, but now let's look at the charms. Okay, so again, we have the elevator. This for me represents ascension, forward movement. We have the butterfly here, which represents transformation, but being now full bloom. This is the butterfly fully accepting now that it's no longer a caterpillar. This is a completely new lifestyle. This is a new identity, a new persona. So embrace that, embrace the change, embrace the newness, be the butterfly. And we have the steering wheel again, steering the wheel in a new direction. Moving on to newer waters. This is the steering wheel of the ship. Move on into those newer and fresher waters, because new adventures await for you. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope you resonated with these messages. If you did, then please leave a like or a comment. If you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, Seekers. Okay, so for you guys, I'm sensing old soul energy with this group, especially because I wrote remember on here. I feel like Spirit is asking you, remember yourself, remember why you came here into this life, remember your purpose, remember why you're doing this. If you started a project a while back, and it came from a very heartfelt, passionate space, and you are no longer feeling that passion, or you're wondering or questioning whether there is any meaning to this, there's this message of remember why you started this in the first place. Remember what motivated you to do this, and in there you will find your answer. Okay? I'm just feeling vastness with you guys. I feel like there's a lot going for you guys. It's coming through as a checklist. Like, there's a lot of things to check off your list. If you feel right now that there's nothing else waiting for you, that the universe, that the world has no more use for you, let me tell you, I don't like to say this, but let me tell you, you are completely wrong. There's so much in store for you. You've only so far checked a few things from your list. Yeah, there's so much for you to do still. Things that you will be passionate about, things that will motivate you every day to wake up and do these things. It feels like purpose, like life purpose. Now, I always see life purpose, it's not just one thing. We don't just have one purpose in life. If it's our purpose, I feel, is whatever calls us at that moment, whatever we're passionate about, whatever we're motivated to do every day. That is our purpose. And I feel you still have a lot to go. There's still a lot to go for you guys. And for this group, I think that the old soul energy comes from you've lived through a lot. You've gone through a lot. You've learned so many lessons. You've grown in so many ways, and you've changed. You saw many of your identities die, and you saw yourself be reborn more than once. There's endless possibilities with you guys. This is not the end yet. But now let's look at the cards. So the first card is to give us just the general message of the current energy. We have Vincent van Gogh. If committed, stay committed. Posthumous recognition requires a paper trail. Use the daylight to face the night. Okay, the first message I'm pulled to is use the daylight to face the night. I was talking about lessons. What we feel comes as hardships. What we feel is like the darkness. That's usually our silver lining. That's usually our beam of light. Because there is some lesson in that. There is some answer in all of those things. And so I feel like you've gone through a lot. You've lived through so much. And it's time for you to start using all that. Using all that you've acquired, all the knowledge, all the lessons, the resilience that you built to face whatever is coming in the future. And when I see night, I'm not seeing it as something like, oh, more struggles coming through. I'm actually seeing as the fortune, the good times ahead. Because again, I feel like you guys have a lot going for you. You have a lot to do, a lot of purposes. And it feels all of these lessons have been preparing you for this. It can either be helping out other people. I don't know, if you're a therapist, it's having compassion. When we experience something, then we can have more compassion for other people and their own struggles, more empathy. We can understand more. If it's not that, it's just showing up in your kindness. It's whatever is coming forward. What you lived through, what you perceived as dark, was actually forms of revelation and answers. It was your beam of light to lead you through these moments now. Because we do have the sunflower here, and that reminds me of sun energy. With the message, if committed, stay committed. Again, I feel like you have a lot on your list, a lot on your plate. And you might feel that maybe you might sense that you can do a lot of things at this moment, or you might gain a lot of inspiration or creativity to do a lot of things. But universe is asking you, do not divide your energy. Do not divide yourself, because that will only deplete you. So if you have one thing you're looking forward to, stay committed to it. Stay committed to that one thing. See it come through. And once you are able to check it off your list, then you can move on to the next thing. Do not try to do everything all at once at this moment, because it's like trying to put your entire life's journey in one plate and consume it all in one sitting. And that would be such a waste, because then what will be waiting for you in the future? Your life journey was built specifically and beautifully for you, so it can flourish and unfold in its divine timing. So if you feel like time is running out, it is not. If you feel that like time is running out, it's probably because whatever phase you are in right now, there's an ending coming to it. And maybe you're trying to cling so much to the ending because you fear that no new chapter is going to open up for you. Maybe nothing is waiting for you in the future. And universe wants to let you know there's so much waiting for you. There is so much waiting for you. So do not cling on to what is waiting to be closed, because that is happening for a reason, because something new is just waiting and begging to begin. Okay? So now let's look at the cards. So we'll first look at El Amor, love. Okay, so we have 10, the wheel. This is the wheel of fortune. So 10 for me represents closures, completions, the ending of a cycle. We were talking about that, about letting go of the past. Now the wheel shows up for the love section of this reading. A lot of people interpret the wheel as fated or destined connections. Now, I don't like to push that message, because I think that takes a lot from your own power. Because when people hear fate or destiny, they think it's written in stone, right? That the universe has pushed this onto them and they can't change it whatsoever. And that's not true. know that if there is something that's destined for you, it's because you yourself chose it before you incarnated in this life. As a soul, you created your blueprint. There's stuff in your life, certain roots that you gave yourself leeway to, free will for. And there's certain checkpoints that you decided that you really had to go through in order for you to grow, in order for you to learn specific lessons. But you agree to that. And sometimes those checkpoints are connecting with certain people, meeting up with certain people. And when that happens, we usually agree with that other soul, right? We make an agreement, we make a promise to meet at a certain time, to meet at a specific place, to meet for a specific purpose or reason. And I feel that's what's coming through with the wheel card here. It's time, it's time to meet this person you promised to meet in this lifetime. And it will feel like a destined or fated connection for you. But I feel like you're entering this phase of your life now because you're being open now. Because I'm being pulled to the sun here and the moon energy. And that's like the balance between the masculine and the feminine energies. Those two energies finally merging together. So this comes into your life because you're finally surrendering to yourself. You're finally surrendering to your journey. You're opening yourself to that, to the universe, to spirit, to your inner knowing. It feels like you open the door and then the universe is all like, finally. And then all this can rush in towards your life. I don't know why, but for most of you, the message, it's been a long time coming, is coming through. And I feel like it's been a struggle for some of you. And that struggle might have mostly come from resistance, from trying to hold on to situations because of fear of maybe being alone or not finding something better. And the truth is, the sun was always going to shine on you. It's always shining on you, and it always will. Even when there is darkness, remember, even when the moon comes out, the sun is still there. And that's the only reason why the moon can fully glow. The moon is reflecting the sun's light. So even when you feel darkness, there's still a sun, there's still bright stars shining above you, leading the way. You are never alone and you have never been abandoned. And now I think you're finally surrendering to this knowing. You're finally opening up to your own spirit, to yourself. You're letting go of that fear. And then these connections will come rushing in. Now, this can be a romantic relationship, but I'm also seeing it just as friendships, as soul sisters, soul mates. Soul mates means like soul friends, soul buddies. And it will feel like everything just falls into place. But let's look at the clarifiers. We have Earth Mother and we have Gratitude. Yeah, I just got a sense of like relief, something lifted off me. I think this is the Gratitude card. I got this feeling of something being lifted, of you rising. See, this, I'm seeing it as fear. And I feel like this is what was holding you down in this darkness here, in the void. And you had fear of using your wings. You were giving wings to fly to new horizons, to the highest heights. But this fear was keeping you down in this darkness. But it feels like you surrendered in some way. You surrendered to the knowing that you have wings and you used them. And you lifted yourself from this darkness. And even though this still, I do sense that like even though this still might weigh heavy on you, you're not letting it keep you down any longer. This feels like, I know control is not the right word, but this feels like management. You're managing this fear now, this anxiety. You learn to. You know that you can't live without this darkness, right? Because we have that balance here. But you know that you don't have to be drowning in it. You can find a balance. You can lift yourself up. And that's what I'm seeing with my neighbor's bird is all squawking now. You can rise now. And I see that with Earth Mother. Earth Mother is also about grounding energy. But I see this like the flowers here from you represent beautiful thoughts. We have pink here, which represents kindness. We have the fire, which represents passion. And the pomegranate also, which represents romance and passion. The person that might be coming into your life, or that will be coming into your life, might be someone that might exude this feminine energy. They might be more receptive, vulnerable, compassionate, nourishing, creative individuals. And I feel you show up more as this masculine energy. You're more of a go-getter, hardworking, I don't know, I'm getting very like detail orientated, maybe very self-critical about yourself. And this person comes in to also help bring in this balance into your life and to finally complete this chapter of fears, of self-doubt, self-criticism, to start opening yourself to this beautiful feminine energy of self-love, self-compassion, self-understanding. Yeah, so in terms of love, I am sensing fated connections, a soulmate, someone that you agreed to meet in this life for a specific purpose. I'm not sensing like this person comes to uplift you. It is at a time when you're already doing that for yourself. And because you're already doing that from yourself, because you finally rise from this darkness, then this person is able to see you, right? Because all this time you've been here and, well, they couldn't see you, they couldn't find you. But now that you've risen, then they can see you, then they can spot you. You find each other. And gratitude just means being grateful. It feels like you will come, like meeting this person, you will start realizing why it is that you went through all of these things. And instead of being resentful about your struggles, about your life, about how things turned out, you will start finding gratitude because it's like, oh, I had to take all those steps. I had to take that route because it would lead me to this specific place, to meet this person or these people. Because again, it feels like a checkpoint. From here on, you start a new journey. Okay, but now let's pull the charms for you guys. Okay. So we have the blank canvas here, which for me represents new beginnings. There's a potential for you to paint a new image, paint a new picture for yourself, whatever it is that you want. It reminds me of the wheel here. I always see the wheel here, it's a tapestry. It's a tapestry. It's not something that's written on stone. So you as the weaver, you can come up here and change this image whenever you want, whenever you decide to. And it's pretty much this blank canvas. You have the paintbrush, you have the paints with you. You can come up here to this canvas and paint whatever image you want for yourself. So this is telling you, you have reins of your life at all moments. You have free will. Like even meeting this person, you can meet this person, but then you decide how this relationship goes, how you feel about this person. Nothing is forced on you. And with the double deck bus, I always see this as, because there's so many seats, it's like we have a fire truck. So the color red might be very significant for you guys. So the double deck bus, since it has many seats, I always see this as you're going along your journey and a lot of people get on this bus, and the people who get on this bus are your soul family, your soul tribe, kindred spirits of yours. So yes, a lot of fated meetings, fated connections, people that you see and you feel immediately comfortable with, that they share your same ideas, they share your same beliefs, that you feel like you've met them before, but it is because you've met them in other lives, because you agreed to meet them before you incarnated in this life. And to either further validate that, we have the time turner. The time turner comes out in Harry Potter. Hermione uses it to go back in time, and I just always see the time turner as people from your past, but I'm seeing this as people from other lives coming back here to meet you, you meeting them. With this butterfly inside the cocoon, yes, this feels like, because we have the 10 here, right? The 10 is the closing of a cycle. It's not necessarily the beginning. And right here, it feels like you're in this cocoon. This is the 10 here, the closing of a phase. You will soon emerge into that butterfly. Right? So this is just, it feels like, again, like a checkpoint. You know, when you're playing a video game, it's a checkpoint, then the video game remembers that you already went through all those lessons. You don't have to go through them again. You just start from that beginning, from this checkpoint onto your newer adventures. And that's what I'm seeing here. You're about to come out of the cocoon. And this phase right here, it can be very heavy. Because it feels like we've been put on hold. And that's what I'm seeing with the wheel here. The wheel's not turning, it's just an image that's been put on hold. And with the sun and the moon being here, it feels like like limbo, being in a limbo state. And that's what it feels like. It feels like nothing, you're not moving forward, you're not growing, like you're stuck in a place. But you're not stuck. You're here in this space, in this cocoon, just so close to spreading your wings and flying and breaking free from this cocoon to truly embody that butterfly. It's just a little bit more, just a little bit more. That's all I have for you guys. Just wait a little bit more and all this will come pouring in. Okay, but now let's look at the next in our list. Oh goodness. Okay, so let's check it off. We have love. The next is finances and career. So finances and career, we have 3 of arrows, jealousy, and we have the 5 of vessels, ecstasy. 3 of arrows, this is the 3 of swords, and this is the 5 of cups. Okay, yes, if it's in terms of a career, a job you've been working in for years, and then finally maybe you quit or they let you go and you feel great heartache and great pain and worry, like what are you going to do now? You've been doing this for so long, you don't know anything else. We have the 5 of vessels, ecstasy. The 5 of cups in the Rider-Waite's tarot represents loss. It represents disappointment. But I love it here in this deck because it's, yes, there is a loss because something ended. But doesn't mean that there is disappointment in it because you know something beautiful is waiting for you. This was meant to end, to realign you to what it is that is meant for you. So again, if a job, something didn't work out and you know it wasn't bringing you any more pleasure, you weren't being fulfilled in that job, you weren't being motivated to do this thing, know that the reason why it ended was for a purpose. It had a purpose because again, it was hurting your heart instead of like giving it joy, giving it ecstasy. And so it had to end. Maybe you prolonged this. Maybe it had to end a while back and you were prolonging it and your heart was screaming at you like, we want something new, we want something different, something is missing, but you weren't heeding that call, or maybe you didn't understand what it was exactly that was missing for you. And it was this. You finally released it. It was, or maybe universe came in and cut it away for you, and it was to set you free. That's what I'm seeing here. It's freedom. It's dancing in joy. And like I said, I feel like many things are waiting for you because we have many cups. I see cups as offerings here. So I was talking about a checklist before. This is not the only purpose you will be fulfilling. Like this job that's being released, that was one part of your checklist. Now you're moving on to the next cup, to the next part of your checklist. And then that again will eventually come to a close. And when it comes to a close, don't hold on to it. Let it end organically and naturally. And know that it's not the finale of everything, because there is something waiting for you. There is another cup that is waiting to be offered to you. Okay, so yes, there is heartache, there is pain here, but there's also joy and celebration. It feels like this is how you feel in your physical reality, like this is you, but this is your spirit, is dancing in joy. It's just like, yes, we're liberated, we can finally move on to the next chapter. Yes, finally. I even feel excited for you guys because they know something amazing is waiting for you, something that is more aligned to your soul, to your spirit, to your heart. It could even be a dream that you held dear and near when you were younger, but you let go of, or you put on hold, or you forgot about because you were doing this other job. And finally, I think that's surfacing, and you will finally be accomplishing this dream. You will finally be working on this thing that you're extremely passionate about, that your soul sings to. But let's look at the clarifier. Yes, you see, we have the heart here, and we have like a dream. And this is the 9 of Pentacles, you guys. The 9 of Pentacles is that independent woman. This could be an independent man, financially independent, financially stable, successful, thriving. This is about having a self-made business. This is about being confident and who you are, and accepting of who you are, and exuding your creative talents and energy and bringing it into life. And it's like amazing that we have the heart here, all heard on fire, and then we have the heart here fully healed. This pain, this heartache will pass. If you feel like nothing is better is waiting for you, know that there is something better waiting for you, something that is more aligned to your heart. And then we have like a dream here. This just reminds me of like a dream that you had. You're finally making it come true. You're finally working on this dream. And we have the message here. Life is but empty dream. Yeah, I feel this was the past energy. You felt like, oh, what's the point of having dreams and ambitions if you'll never get to work on them? You'll never get to achieve all these goals if life is just an everyday monotony. And Spirit was like, whoa, hold up, what? And so they got away with this thing that was really kind of dwindling your light, your spirit. And they pulled you out of this situation. And it's because, hey, they wanted to reignite this beautiful, beautiful, creative, ecstatic spirit that's within you. Heal this broken heart, because something amazing is waiting for you guys. It feels like you will be start creating your own business. I say that because we have the 9 of Cups here, and we do have the ecstasy. It just reminds me of being in line with your spirit. And we have this woman who's standing on this star here. It's like she's the star now. She's embodying that star energy. So she's the center of attention. It reminds me of leadership, of you being center stage. So yes, if you've just come out of a job, if a project didn't work out, or maybe a partnership, and you're feeling really down about it, you feel like things won't get better, things will get better. And soon those like creative juices will start flowing in, and you will get the motivation to start something on your own for yourself. And this will be more aligned to your current purpose. And it will bring financial abundance to you, because it is the 9 of Pentacles here. But again, remember, once this new phase opens, there will be an ending to it, because life is about cycles, just like the seasons. Things start, right? And they're very fruitful at the beginning, but then they start dwindling down. And it doesn't mean that you failed in any way. It means because something better is waiting for you. And I'm especially sensing it for this group. Okay? But now let's move into the last one, which is spiritual growth. Okay, I'm excited to see what spiritual growth for you guys. Okay, we have the Queen of Stones, the Bear. This is the Queen of Pentacles. We have Pentacle energy again here. The Queen of Pentacles is very independent. She's financially stable. She's confident. She's nurturing. She's intuitive. And she's a go-getter. But what I'm seeing with the Queen of Stones, since we do have the Bear here, bears are known to hibernate. So since this is coming for the spiritual growth aspect of this reading, this is reminding me of an awakening. You've been sleeping this whole time. Your spirit, your heart has been in hibernation. But now it's the moment to awake. This is your awakening. Look, this bear is looking now out into the horizon, seeing all the possibilities, seeing their life unfold in front of them, and being motivated to be part of it. That's what I'm seeing here. Like your spirit finally comes back into your body. And it's reminding me of this ecstasy card. It's like finally you being realigned, taking back control of your life. And it's like starting on this path, on this journey now. But now it's your journey. Now it's your spiritual journey. This is the beginning. It's like you open your eyes, you see things from a newer perspective. It's letting go of resentment, letting go of the pain, letting go of the doubt and the fear, and knowing there is so much. Oh, again, see how much all this land, that's kind of the message I was getting. There's so much waiting for you. So much. You haven't even reached the prime of your life yet. And some of you might be like, what? Do you know how old I am? That does not matter. Age does not matter. Not when universe has something in store for you. And boy, oh boy, do you have a journey laid ahead for you guys. Let's look at the clarifiers. Potential, and we have spiritual guidance. Yeah, potential. You're the seed. All this time you've been rooting, and your roots run deep. They run deep. And I'm seeing roots as connections here. You've been rooting for so long, and you extended your roots. and you've touched other souls. That's what I'm seeing it at. You know, like trees actually connect and communicate with each other through their roots. So it feels like you've been rooting this whole time, and it's to connect to all of these other souls, to your soulmates, your kindred spirits, and it's awakening them or letting them know, hey, I'm here. I'm awake now. I'm coming out of my cave. Come to meet me. And they do, and they come to meet you. And especially now because you're blooming, you're flourishing. Now they can finally see you. And again, with the potential, it just reminds me always of infinite potential, birthing something new. There's so much waiting for you guys. So much. And again, it feels like your spirit has awakened. Your spirit has awakened. And you can feel that. You will feel that like so much. If it's not just like creative like ideas, it's like the motivation, the spark of life, wanting to fully live and be part of life now. It's like if it feels like being reborn. And with the spiritual guidance, it reminds me, it's your time. It feels like an awakening. It's like spirit is with you. Spirit has always been with you, and they will be guiding you on this new journey. It's like finally you can open your eyes to see all the messages that spirit has been sending you, to see the breadcrumbs that the universe has placed in front of you, before you, for you to follow, to lead you to your highest path. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you're lost, you're not lost. You're on your way back to you. You're on your way back to your path. And you haven't been abandoned. This is a new beginning. All I can say is for this reading, an awakening. So much is awaiting you. So much potential. Your spirit has barely been born, in a sense. Has awakened to this new day. It's a new life. It's a new day. It's a new you. Oh, yeah, the charms. Okay, so we have the crescent moon. This represents closing of phases. We know with every ending there comes a beginning. The sunflower, sun energy. Remember, the sunflower always faces in the direction of the sun. We have the sun here. You will start seeing brighter days. You're the sunflower. You will start seeing the brighter days, and you will keep being gravitated only to what is of your highest good. Again, we have the mittens, the gloves here represents soul connections. And again, we have the canvas. This is like I said, it's a new day, it's a new beginning. This is your blank canvas, what it is that you want to build for yourself now. I feel like during this time you will be more connected with your you will be connected with your spirit. You will be more connected with your spirit guides or angels, whatever it is that you resonate more with. And you will start seeing the validation in your physical life. Be open to it. Okay? A lot is coming for you guys. A lot. Remember who you are. Remember your divinity. You will be remembering. You are already remembering. Yeah, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you want to stick around with more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next moment, bye-bye. Hello, Seekers. Okay, so the energy of this group feels very bubbly, very enthusiastic. And if it's not that, I feel it's an energy that's always on the go, go, go. Wanting to do several things at once. So many things going up in your mind. And it's not so much like an overthinker energy. It's more of there's actually so many thoughts that come in all at once. And you're always like, one minute you're here, then the next you're over there, and then something calls your attention, you try to do that, and it seems that you can't concentrate and finish one single task. But it feels like there's like this positive outlook, or there's this want, a desire to have this positive outlook. Like maybe you're trying really, really hard to be happy all the time, or be positive about situations, or you don't allow others to see your pain, to see your sadness, or to see how down you are sometimes, or some days. That's what I'm getting with the happy face here. I just drew it randomly, but that's the energy I'm getting from it. But let's look at the cards. So the first card is to give just a general. Oh, sorry, I got spacey with you guys. Okay, a general message for the current energy. Okay, so we have Remkulhas, which is the name of the artist, and the message is, breathing is secondary. Don't forget to think. A good manifesto is foremost legible. Reconsider your concept of small versus big. I'm being pulled to the message, breathing is secondary. Don't forget to think. Again, I feel like a lot is going up in your mind, or that feeling again of not being able to focus on one thing, not being able to take a break or a breather. And maybe for some of you, being this active or taking on a lot on your plate, it's actually a form of like a coping mechanism to keep you distracted, to keep you from sitting down with yourself and really being with yourself. Because I feel like there's, again with this happy face, there's a lot of emotions that are not being acknowledged or expressed, or pain, or maybe disappointment. And you're really trying to not acknowledge that. It will maybe just magically disappear and go away, and you don't have to deal with it. And things will just get better. Things will get better. But if you release this first, if you acknowledge this first, that's what I'm getting with don't forget to think. Allow these things to surface up. Because allowing them to surface up, then we can allow them to be released, right? Because if we keep them, we're just bottling them up inside of us, and they'll never be gone. We'll just be forced to do more things to keep us distracted from it. I'm also being pulled to the reconsider your concept of small versus big. I was getting this go-go energy. I was getting this message of putting a lot on your plate. So sometimes maybe you're in this high energy, you might accept a lot of things, or people might ask you for help and you might say yes right away, yes, and yes to everything. And sometimes you're like, oh, well, it's no big deal. Like, I can do this. It's something small, or maybe if somebody did you wrong in some way, you feel you were wronged, just let it pass or fly by, because you're like, well, it was just this, it was nothing big, it was nothing serious. And you're not really acknowledging what your heart is telling you, because if it brought you pain, if it was uncomfortable to you, then it wasn't something small, right? Not to you, not to your being. So pay mind to that, respect that. And remember, there's actually no comparison. There's actually no small or big thing, right? Everything is equal to each other, right? Every choice that we make is important, no matter how we consider it, because it can have a ripple effect. It can have a long-term effect. So always be mindful of what you approve. Always be mindful of what you let in. When I say let in, it's also just letting things fly by, right? If a person does something to you and you're not okay with it, but you don't acknowledge this, you don't let the person know, then it's giving an opening for that person to do something like that again, or maybe something even more hurtful to you later on. So remember to respect your boundaries, place those boundaries and acknowledge them, and they're here for you, those boundaries. They're here to help you out. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting for this group. But now let's look into the first portion of this reading, which is love. So the first card is to represent the general energy. And we have 10 of Bows, responsibility. Yeah, we were talking about that, putting a lot on your plate. Okay, now this section of love is not necessarily just romantic love, it's just love in general. I feel like crying. I feel like maybe your heart has been pretty heavy. And I feel like you guys have a big heart, but it's also like you have such a vision about love, what love can be, how love can be expressed. And I feel like a hopeful energy from you guys. But it seems like how your journey has played out is really kind of dwindling that hope or that vision you had about love. Because maybe in the realms of romantic love, things have been a bit of a struggle for you. People don't show up in their true self as their true selves, and it just feels like relationships have become more of a burden than something to look forward to, something to be happy about. And again, it just doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. I'm seeing the wands here as actually relationships or connections, and it feels like you formed a lot of them. Or like, yeah, it feels like connections have become a responsibility to you. You either have a lot of connections, and all of these people put a lot on your plate, or you accept all of these burdens of other people, trying to help them out, trying to be a good friend, trying to be a good partner. And it's kind of closing up your heart more instead of letting it just be. This can also be representing that if you had such high expectations and ideals about a romantic relationship, then you've probably been on the search for it. You've probably been on the search for that one, looking for them, searching for them. And every person that comes into your life, you immediately pull out the magnifying glass, the spyglass, to start analyzing this person and seeing if they meet your checklist, right? Because you probably have a checklist or a list of what the one should look like, what it should be like, and you start seeing whether this person fits the list, right? And if that person is close to fitting the list, even if they're not checking off one point, but let's say they meet 9 out of the 10 requirements, then you get excited about it, right? And you start putting a label on the connection, and you start imagining a future with this person, and you start kind of idealizing this person. And when that expectation is not met, when this person doesn't turn out to be how you envision them to, then again, it feels like you collect one of these swans. It becomes a burden. But that doesn't put you down, that doesn't bring you down, because you still have that hopeful energy. You still have that knowing, that pull, that there is someone out there for you. There is the one. And so again, it happens again. Another person comes into your life and you immediately want to establish a connection with them. You immediately want to see them as the one. And I feel like with the 10 of bows, the 10 is all about completions, closing of a cycle. I feel like a slowing down with this energy. The message that is coming through is slow down in terms of relationships. Not everyone you meet is going to be the one. The one will get to you, will arrive, and you won't have to force anything. It will play out. And if you have that calling, that push, and that's the only reason why you still have hopes and love, why you still have this romantic aura to you, is because it exists. Look, there's this campfire here. This feels like home. This is where I feel like your soul tribe is waiting for you. Again, if it's not just romantic, if it's like friends, people, they are out there. They are out there for you. And that's why you have that call. But when you meet them, you won't have to force anything with them. And I feel like when you meet them, instead of placing another burden on you, right? Instead of asking something of you, these people, once you get here, these people will actually take these wands and put them down and hug you. Hug you first. Because with who they've been waiting for, who they want to get to know is you. They won't want anything from you. They would just want to be with you. Let's look at the clarifiers. We have Dreamer and we have the Rose. And this is the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords is all about restless nights, insomnia, anxiety. You might be feeling really anxious about not meeting the one, about all of these relationships not working out how you expected them or wanted them to. And maybe there is this feeling of losing hope, of thinking, man, I will never find the one. Maybe this wasn't meant to happen for me. Maybe this isn't real, this isn't true. But we have the Rose here. Your perfect rose does exist. But remember, when this person comes, do not see them through tainted glasses. We have the Dreamer energy here. This is having your head up in the clouds. See how this man is so tall. His legs are so long, right? This for me represents like instability because there's no balance here. This person just takes one step and he will wobble and fall. And this is also representing this person is not grounded. His head is so high up in the clouds that the clouds block his view, and he's not seeing what's here in his reality with him. This also means being carried away by your emotions, because water is about emotions, and we have the canoe here. And I say that because remember, every rose has its thorns. No one, no matter how much we wanted it to be, no one is picture perfect. No one is the perfect angel. We all have duality within us. That's part of this existence. Do not fall in love with the idea of a person. That will only bring heartache and pain. Because that's like holding this rose thinking that it has absolutely no thorns. And then you hold it and ouch, you get pricked. And I think all of these relationships that you've had, that you connected with, was to kind of teach you that. Slow things down and learn to see people for who they truly are. There's no need to use judgment against them. If you do not agree with their beliefs, where they stand, then you can choose not to connect and move on. Everybody walks their separate journey, their own journeys. There's no need for judgment. And so that's why I feel like you were running really, really fast up this hill. Really, really fast because you immediately wanted to get here. But Spirit was like, whoa, you need to learn this lesson first. Because these people that are waiting for you will see you for who you truly are. And it's only fair that you see them for who they truly are. Because I feel like we do have like these, what is it called? Buds? Flower buds here? And I feel like the majority of the flowers you've been picking have been flowers that haven't even fully bloomed yet. You're so excited about it that you pick up the flower with it's barely just a bud. And the universe is all like, let it bloom first. Let it bloom so you can see it truly. And then decide. The last card I have is Epoch. Yeah, Epoch is a period of time in a person's life. So it's usually marked by notable events. Yeah, I was talking about that. Everybody has a journey. Everybody has a story. What's the message here? Oh, goodness. Every journey is worth remembering. Yeah. And this is kind of also saying that all of these relationships, they happen for a reason. So do not get lost in daydreams. Do not lose yourself. Have your head up in the clouds. Because what you want is here in this ground. So ground yourself. And if you have that calling, it's because there is that person. The one is waiting for you. There is a person that has fully bloomed that is waiting for you at the top of this mountain. And it's been a struggle in relationships and in love, but soon all that burden will be put down. Now let's look at the charms. I just stayed like silent for a moment. Okay. So we have the bus, the double deck bus. We have the butterfly. We have the palms. Sorry, I received a call. And then we have the umbrella here. So the umbrella from you represents protection. Being protected. I feel this can also be being really overprotective or sometimes even defensive about love, or your ideals about love. I'm getting like expectations here. The umbrella shields us from the rain. And the rain I related to cleansing, to surrendering. I don't see it as bad to have expectations, but always be mindful. How realistic are your expectations? Right? How high are you putting the pedestal that you're not allowing people to stand like on your same level? Because people have to meet you. To connect with them, you have to see them eye to eye. So how high of a pedestal are you building that people cannot meet you? I'm not saying bringing yourself down or bringing your worth down. No, it's just, sometimes we're standing somewhere, but we built the pedestal that's even higher than where we're standing for a perfect person, right? And then they won't be able to meet us. We won't be able to meet them. So if you are doing this, think, why am I doing this? Is it because I really want this perfect love, or is it because I'm really scared of connecting with somebody in a very real way? We have the butterfly here. We have the blue, which talks about communications, and the butterfly wearing its beautiful crown here. This talks about leadership, being independent, being free. I'm feeling it like being free of all these burdens. If like a lot of people come to you, if a lot of connections are formed because they expect something from you, I feel like you're saying, like, when these people do come in, you finally put up your boundaries and you're like, no, fuck no. And you free yourself. You're like, la 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 la. And yeah, you don't carry the burdens of other people anymore, because you're realizing that only weighs you down. I'm also getting this like social butterfly. With the double deck bus, I always see the double deck bus as a bus where all the soul tribe gathers. Like, you're on your journey, and then the people that get on this bus are part of your soul group. And like I said, I do feel there is a soul tribe. There are soulmates. There is that one person out there waiting for you, and you will meet them. You will meet them pretty soon. I feel like once you start realizing the lessons that need to be learned in terms of love, these people will come flowing in. And with the rest here, yeah, we had responsibility here. I think it represents taking a rest. Taking a rest, not being so hard on yourself. Again, if you're doing so many things at once, maybe start seeing what it is that you really don't have to do at this moment. Don't force things upon yourself. Don't force things, projects, connections. It's not worth it, because then it means you have to work for it, and that's just exerting energy that really could have been invested in something more fruitful. So that's what I have for you guys in terms to love. But now let's move to the other cards, or to the other section of this reading. And the next one is finances and career. Again, overall energy, clearance, 7 of bows. This can represent closing of situations, letting go of things that are really no longer bringing production for you, or motivation, inspiration, because we see this bow here. See how it's all worn out? The string is no longer taut. So it's not going to be functional anymore. So if this is in terms of a business, let's say your self-made business, it's time to see what's working for you and what's not. Holding on to old systems when they're not working for you is being counterproductive. Even though it's something that we're used to, we're accustomed to, it's comfortable to us, that's the only way we know how to do things. Know that there's always, if it's not working for you, that means that there's something else better waiting for you. And you can always learn something new if you allow yourself the opportunity. And new is not a bad thing. Because at the end, at the long run, that will eventually become comfortable to you as well. So it's like opening yourself to the opportunity, because whatever you allow yourself to come in to you will actually bring in more, I'm seeing it, revenue, more inspiration, bring in more people, because the campfire, it's warmth, right? So it brings people in. So yeah, if it's like, let's say, I don't know, Instagram, YouTube, maybe the format you're doing things, it's not inspiring or bringing people in. And so maybe it's time for you to change things up a bit. And maybe you yourself don't feel inspired to do the same things you've been doing every day. And again, just like changing the routine. If it's, let's say, a website of yours, maybe it's time to go and rebuild the website, change its format. If it's a store, maybe see what's in stock. If there's things that haven't been selling, things that have been just put there for the longest time collecting dust, maybe it's time to remove those and put something new. If it's at work, it feels like changing up the routine and changing up the situation in order to make it a bit more fun for you. I'm also seeing these wands as like maybe potential people coming in. It could also represent maybe like partnerships or connections that you have, that maybe you realize like these people are not good partners. They don't put in the same effort as you do, and maybe it's time to maybe cut with these partnerships. I don't know why, but I'm seeing this as interviews, like interviewing new people, or maybe you do need more assistance and more help, and you've been kind of hesitant on hiring new people. Yeah, and it's telling you give other people the opportunity. They might come in with bright ideas that will help your business, that it might even help you. But let's see, we have the train here, and we have abundance. Yeah, you see, once you do this change, then abundance can start flowing in for you. I forget what that's called, but you know what? There's this thing where you, like, when you're decorating your home, it's like moving the furniture or placing them in certain positions so the energy can flow better. Because if we have so much going on in our homes, like so many things, then the energy gets stuck in certain places, and then we feel that lack of motivation. We feel depleted energetically, and so it feels like that. Move things around so the energy can start flowing, and once the energy starts flowing, then this abundance can start coming in. And I also see that as like even you, abundance and like motivation, you getting the motivation to start working. So this is the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands represents decision, making a choice. We do have the train here, which I see it as the train has finally gone, has finally left. So if you've been holding up on making a choice, making a decision, because you fear letting go of something, you fear getting out of your comfort zone. Again, notice if whatever you're holding on to, if it's not bringing you abundance, and not just financially, but just, emotionally, spiritually, if it's not making you happy, if you're not motivated with this, then it is time, then maybe reconsider, because clearing this out, letting go of this, will allow for something new to come in, will allow for this new energy of abundance to start flowing in. I'm also seeing the train here as an idea. I don't know, that message, the one that goes like, that ship has sailed. If it's an opportunity you were clinging onto, and maybe you're regretting not having taken it before, or not having doing things a certain way, or not having perfect timing, that is in the past now. Let go of it. If it didn't work out, it was not to go against you, but it was because maybe it wasn't meant for you. And it's only because there's something that's more aligned with you, is waiting for you. Again, but like things need to shift, things need to be moved, because this is what is more aligned with you, this abundance card, and this is what's waiting to come in. But it seems like you've been so busy lamenting this train that has already left, that you don't allow for this to come in for you. So make space for this, change things up a bit. Again, move things around, change up your system, change the routine, and the finances and career aspect of your life will start flowing. Income will start flowing, inspiration will start coming through, opportunities will start arriving for you. And again, like that choice, that decision, I think it has to do with this change. So allow it to occur. Let's see the charms. Okay, so we have, what do we have here? This is the feather, so this represents spiritual guidance to me. This also can represent messages. I feel you've been receiving messages. Either people have been kind of pointing to something, or you yourself have been receiving some form of synchronicities. Every time you think about something, every time you wonder about this decision making, you receive some form of sign, and that's spirit, the universe, guiding you in the direction that you desire to go, because you have a goal in mind, you have something that you want, and spirit is trying to guide you in that direction. So pay attention to that. And then we have here the elevator, which represents ascension. This can represent ascension in your job. Again, it's like this abundance, a promotion, just getting more revenue, things shifting in your job. If it's a business, it's escalating to a new level. We have the boat here. The paper boat, this represents dreams to me, like childhood dreams, ambitions or goals that you had when you were younger that maybe you let go on or you put on hold. They're kind of resurfacing, and they will serve as a form of inspiration to you, and this will be that new energy that will come in. So let go of old patterns, of old way of doing things, and be inspired by whatever it is that comes up through memories or through recollection of old dreams that you had. And this will allow for that new energy to surge in, because it will be a new way of doing things. And it's also kind of go at this, at your job, at your work, at this project with a more playful attitude. Because I'm feeling very seriousness coming through with this energy. We have the hourglass here. This for me represents divine timing. Again, if you feel like an opportunity left you, remember that it was all playing in your favor. Because if you got on this train, then the right train that was meant for you to lead you to your abundance, you would have missed it. So this train had to miss you first, so you wouldn't miss the opportunity that is meant for you. I hope that makes sense. So universe has never been working against you. They've been working for you and with you. Yes, and we have here the pom-poms here. So this represents cheering you on, supporting you. You do have support from the universe. I see that with the feather here. You have spiritual guidance. Trust in what's coming through. This is the ink here. So with the ink, this means like writing down, journaling, whatever dreams you had. Again, dreams, things that you've been trying to manifest, or dreams that you felt like were out of reach. They're not out of reach. They're not out of reach for you. What you want is waiting for you. It's this abundance. I'm seeing these flowers as your dreams, aspirations, or goals. It's just, in order for you to receive them, you have to be open to change. And then we have the musical notes here. So maybe this is in terms of some talent that you have. Be open to new opportunities that resonate with you. I'm also seeing the music notes as messages. You might be receiving messages through songs. Like you might be thinking about something and you hear a song on the radio, and in the lyrics, it kind of like the lyrics are so bizarre, like because they feel like a reply to whatever question that you had, and that's a message from spirit. I'm also seeing follow the music of your soul. That will guide you. But now let's look at the other cards. Put these away. And the last one is spiritual growth. So we have the Knight of Bows, the Fox. But let's pull, I want to pull the other clarifiers for you guys. So we have Dreamer, and we have Joy. Did we have Dreamer? Oh yeah, we had it for you guys in terms to love. Okay, so the Knight of Bows is the Knight of Page. The Knight of Page can be very enthusiastic, very playful, very witty, very tricky. It's that fire energy. So it gets easily excited, but as it gets easily excited, it can get easily bored. And we have this energy for spiritual growth. So again, with the Dreamer here, I feel most of you spend a lot of time in your head, playing out scenarios in your mind, getting carried away by these visions that you have, getting carried away by your ideals. I do have with the Joy here because it reminds me of a leap of faith. And I think this have been hindering the connection with your spirit, because since we did have the Dreamer come out for the relationship one with the responsibility here, that dreamer side of you, that dream aspect of you, might exalt you at moments, and that's what gets you to either form relationships really quickly with people or trust people extremely quickly, let them into your life, and exchange energies with them. Even though there's a part of you, there's this inkling that's telling you maybe this is not such a good idea. I don't think this person is a good fit for you. You don't listen to that intuition because of this overexcited energy. You just immediately take this leap of faith here. And I'm being pulled to how this person is carrying this stick here, because we have wand energy here and we have wand energy here. I was seeing these wands as relationships. It's like a wand, a person is presented to you and you immediately take it and you're like, yes, I'll run with this. This is the one. We were talking about the one in the romantic one with the rose, right? Immediately picking up the first rose that you see. And then disappointment comes afterwards, right? Because it's not like we expected. It's not how we imagined it to be, because we didn't really let it unfold in the first place so we can see it for what it truly was before we decided that this was it for us, right? This overexcitement, this like, it feels sort of like a bit of a chaotic energy, because that's what I get with the fox. The fox can be a bit of a trickster, right? And so when we quickly run away with our emotions, or when we get overly excited, we don't use our logic, we don't ground ourselves, and we don't listen to our intuition. We don't listen to that inkling that is telling you maybe wait a bit, maybe really check into this bit first before you agree to it, or you leap with it, or go with this. So there's a bit of a disconnection with our intuition and with our spirit, because again, we tend to be way up in the clouds, or because I see the sun also as solar and sacral chakra energy, like the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, and that's all about like being grounded in your decisions, knowing what it is that you want. I also see that as focused energy, and right now it feels like there's not focus, there's no direction. There's a lot of energy, there's action, but it's action without clear direction. Okay, the other card that we have is the Moon in reverse with the Five of Cups. Now the Five of Cups in the traditional tarot is all about disappointments, it's about losses, but we have it in reverse. So I feel it's this energy of moving away from this, right? Of being, we were talking about that, of being disappointed over and over again. And I think it's mostly because you're coming back down from this energy of having your head up in the clouds, because the moon also talks about hidden truths and illusions. Being elusive. It's that Piscean energy where we're very dreamlike, up in our heads. We start falling in love with the idea of people instead of the people themselves. And it's very Neptunian. So it's bringing ourselves back down, grounding ourselves so the illusions can fall away, so the clouds can disperse, so we can see things as it is, and so we won't be disappointed anymore because we're not creating a different reality or a different version of a reality, and we're moving away from that. So for spiritual growth, I see you coming more back into yourself, listening more to your intuition, still having this hopeful and enthusiastic energy about you in terms to romance, in terms to life, but it's also using your logic when it comes to this. So we have the number 2, which represents balance, and number 5, which is all about change and transitions. So I do see a transition moving into a more balanced energy. And this balance is just between the mind and the heart, the mind and your emotions. And this is just to allow you a space to take things slowly and to make decisions that are more aligned with your spirit, that are more aligned with your truth. And this can also be about focusing this sacral and solar plexus energy, even the root chakra energy, into a more creative route, something that will be more beneficial to you. Directing this energy, because I feel like you have a lot of energy, but there's no direction for it. And finding a focus, a purpose, will allow this energy to flow more smoothly in a more productive way. Now let's look at the charm. Okay, so we have the 4-leaf clover, which represents abundance and luck. We have the elevator here, which represents ascension, moving forward, that change we were talking about. We have the pom-poms here, which represents support and cheering you on. And then we have the little paper boat here, which represents innocence or childhood dreams. So with all of these, I feel Spirit is acknowledging your hopeful energy and your enthusiasm, and they're saying that's okay. It's okay for you to daydream. It's okay for you to have certain expectations. But again, how high are you putting these expectations? Be more realistic with yourself. Be more understanding with yourself and with others as well. I'm feeling like with the 4-leaf clover, this idea of compassion towards your own dreams and with your own ideals. You have dreams, but I think you're very specific with your dreams. You have really high standards for them, and it's having compassion for them in the way that putting so much on these dreams, are you really allowing them to come true? Or you are really giving them any chance for them to manifest into your physical life? Think on that. And if not, then have compassion in being more realistic and allowing your dreams to really come true by looking at your reality and seeing how you can work with what it is that you want and what it is that you have to make that dream come true. Yes, I'm seeing like support here. It's like the universe is supporting you. Do have support. They are cheering you on. You have this beautiful energy, but it seems like you need more focus, and it feels like you need to focus your energy on a more productive space. Maybe you're focusing too much on relationships and giving all of your energy into that. But maybe at this moment, relationships isn't exactly one of the main aspects of your life. And maybe there's an opportunity for you in career or something that's really calling your attention that you're not giving it to because you're really focused on something else that at this moment is not giving you any fruit. So maybe refocus, redirect your energy, and your energy will be used more productively, because I am seeing ascension here, which means growth to me, or ascending in something, ascending in your business, ascending in your life. But that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next moment, bye bye.